Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to start module 8 of OpenSearch training series, and today's topic is OpenSearch alerting. So what is an alert? Alert is something that notifies you when data matches the specific conditions. So here we have specific components of alert in OpenSearch, which we discuss. Apart from that, how it is useful, like why we need alerting, right? Where we can utilize the alerting. Here you can see some areas like if we can want to monitor our system health, like, for example, if any specific server goes down, then you will get an alert. Okay, this system or the server is not working. So you will use the alerting in this area. You can also detect anomalies, being notified if any website traffic suddenly spikes or drops unusually, then you can get an alert if you have certain alert putting the specific condition. Another area is business metrics. Here you can get alert if any specific KPI, that is key performance indicator, is not meeting, like, or any specific threshold something you have set. So for example, we take an average of flight delay. This is the example I'll take in our demo as well. So average flight delay time crosses the particular threshold, then it will shoot an alert. Here the key components are monitor, trigger, and action. Monitor defines query and trigger conditions, trigger conditions that fires an alert, and action, how it is notified. So let's talk about the workflow of alert. Firstly, we have to define the monitor. Monitor is something which is querying your over the index. So you have to mention the index. Then we have to put the alert condition, right, which is going to evaluate the condition. Then you have to certain specific configuration, you have to certain action, like how the notification is going to the specific users, if it is via which channel, if it is email, if it is Slack, if it is any specific tool like ServiceNow or something, then the alerts are created and tracked as well. That is something you can do it into OpenSearch itself. This is the workflow, right? What is monitor? Monitor is something that runs periodically, right? And the trigger conditions. So this is like a constant check which actually look into the data, right? What data you're looking for and the condition, what value you're looking for. So this is something which is running periodically and checking the condition and then shooting an alert. A trigger condition is nothing else where if condition met, then it will fires the alert. Action is what happens after the trigger fires, like sending an email or message, etc. Alert is notification method. So the final notification that is created and tracked. This is how it works, right? So uh, in monitor, there is the process how to create it. We have to go with alerting section in OpenSearch dashboard. We'll click on create monitor. We have to mention the monitor name. Here we can say high flight delay monitor. This is the naming condition. If you have any specific naming convention in your organization which is generally set, you can write the monitor name as per that. If you want any different, like specific one, so you can set the monitor name. There are monitor types. There are different types of monitor which are in OpenSearch, like per query monitor, per document monitor. What per query monitor does, it actually used for checks based on aggregations like average, count, or sum for query results. Whereas document monitor triggers when individual documents, the data entries match a specific condition. So this is how it works. Schedule is how often you want the monitor to be run, like every minute or every 5 minutes or any specific custom cron schedule you want to put it. This is how it works, right? Next one, there are, as I mentioned, there are two defined ways you can write. One is the visual editor. wherein if you don't want to write the queries, you can use this method. You have to simply select the index and you have to define the filters, and then you have to do the aggregations depending your condition, and then you do simply you have to select your index and then you have to put the filters. Let's say flight delay minimum is greater than this, and if any metrics is required, like you want to create an average, you want any count or anything, then you can put it. Later on you have to put the conditions. Another method is writing the DSL query, which I we have discussed in detail in our previous modules. Here, if you want more flexibility, you want to do average that self, you need to test it that self, you have to use this method. In this condition, the simple query which I have written, it is very easy. We are putting the size. If you are putting 0, then it will not show you the results. On the right hand side, I'll show you where I'm talking about. And here, what this particular query is doing, it is doing the aggregations of field, what is flight delay minimum, and average of field is stored in another field. We are creating another field, average delay. So this is something we are doing. We can also put the timestamp, like I need this query to be run under last 24 hours or last 1 day or last week. So you can also put the time range as well. Here you have to put the range, like we have discussed the range. We can put the time ranges as well here, but for the sample I'm just selecting the average here. You can also add must condition, you need to put any conditions, etc. So that the way we are writing the DSL query, we can write it down here, and simply we can create an alert using that method. Next one is adding the trigger. Here you have to define the condition that will fire an alert, right? So uh, here is a script which we are going to use in DSL result. So in the example which we are taking, the flight delay. So if you can see in the last query, we have created field average delay. Okay. So here I'm checking if return the results if value is greater than 60. So it will shoot an alert if it is meets a condition. We can put the severity here. It could be 1, 2, 3. Choose based on your criticality. This is something you have to choose it. So this particular checks the monitor query, right? It does that. So you assign the criticality, as I said. Next one is action. What exactly it will do? You have to how you're going to get notified when trigger fires. So there is a notification channels, multiple, like email, Slack, webhook, ServiceNow. So email sends a notification via email, Slack post a message to the designation Slack channel, webhook sends to the data package to another service like external incident management tool, which I'll talk about, like we'll create that email, or we put a service now, etc. And if you have already created the service now, you can get an incident via event management, etc. This is how it works, right? So this was the detailed about how the monitor can be created, what is monitor, how to create it, and how to set the condition and trigger, and then notification. So this was the theory part. Let's do it in our playground as well and see how it works. You have to go to this beacon icon, okay, and then you have to select alerting. As soon as you'll click on alerting, you'll go to this home page. This will show you the number of alerts which has been shooted for all the monitors which are created, and when it was last triggered, what is the severity, what is the name, etc, etc. So you can see how many alerts has been there. You can look into this. The first thing, when you have to create alert, you have to go to the monitor. Here you can see all the monitors which are already created. You can see it from here, you can edit it as well. So these are the monitors which are already created by the or already there by the sample um, indexes which are already here in the playground available. We will look into this as well. And how to create it, you can see here there is an option to create monitor. As soon as you will click on create monitor, you will get the name. You have to mention the name here. Okay, so let's see the monitor name. We'll use the monitor name, whatever monitor name we are able will be using. So it's high flight delay monitor. So I'm just putting this one. And as I mentioned, there are different types of monitor: per query monitor, per document monitor, bucket monitor, composite monitor, cluster matrix monitor. So generally for organization purpose of simple alerts, we use per query monitor because we are running a query to generate, runs a query to generate alerts based on the match query here. So as I already discussed, the document runs for individual document here, bucket runs to evaluate aggregates value of the data set here. uh, the cluster use APIs, and composite uses the outputs of different monitor. Next is the monitoring defining method that we have already discussed, visual editor, extraction query editor. So if you're not comfortable in writing queries, you can simply select the interval here. Can run daily, weekly, monthly, or any specific cron schedule you would like to run. And you have to select your index from here, right? So, and you have to select the time field, and you have to specify your query here. Again, you have to mention your triggers. You have to set the trigger name here. You have to set the um, severity level and the conditions, right? So you can put severity depending on a thing. You have to write the trigger name, etc., etc. So this is the visual editor, the way we have to write it. Next is an actions, how the notification. So you have to write the action name, let's say, and there is a different channels which are by default provided here, like Chime, Slack, SNS, webhook, etc. So we can also manage channels. We can also create channels, which I'll show you later on. And as soon as you will see, so if you select the channel, let's select any one of Slack or something. So you can see here it shows the um, as soon as you fill all the details, you'll get the trigger name, you'll get the severity, you'll get the period when it is started, a timestamp or something. Let's say if I preview the message, I won't get the trigger name here because I have not mentioned the trigger name. If I put the trigger name as flight delay, let's say, then you'll see that it will automatically come as a flight delay here, and this is something you'll receive the notification as over the whatever notification channels you are going to select, if it is email, any specific incident management tool, or Slack, or anything. So this is how you can use. You can also use the throttling. By default it is 10 minutes. If you want more than that, you can change the value and put the condition. You can also use multiple actions, that you also need an email, you also need an alert over the an incident management tool like ServiceNow, Remedy, or whatever tool you're using. And you can also add multiple conditions as well. And as soon as you fill all the details, you'll click on create and it will create an alert. This is playground. I will not able to do it. Reason being, I don't have permissions, but I'll show you the sample one which they have already done. Um, Let me talk about the other method to create monitor, that is the extraction query. If you select this one, the same is everything is same. You have to select the interval. You select anything like daily or timing. You have to select. You have to select this time zone. Let's say whatever time zone I'm selecting, you have to select the index. So if I select the index, let's say index name was sample flights. Okay, OpenSearch dashboard sample flight. So I'm putting this index here. So as soon as I have put the index, you can see the queries here. Here is something you have to write. As I have shown you in the slide, you have to write the query, the simple one which I'm used for aggregations of the flight delay field, and we are doing the average of that flight delay. And even you can test your query here itself. If you'll run, you'll get the results. If you put the size as 1 or 2, or then you will also able to see the event here as well. Sizes is basically number of events you would like to show. And you can also put the time ranges using the range uh, filter, like have already learned about putting range in our previous sessions. So you can use other operators as well, like and or, using must or conditions, etc. So whatever conditions you want to use, you can use that. Here is something we will add. It says invalid JSON. Again, as you can see, the error gives invalidation. Let me see, something I have not copied correctly. Okay. Then, apart from that, you can see you have to add the trigger condition. Here, you are writing the trigger name as the same you have to follow like you did it for uh, the other one, input one. Let's say flight delay. I'm putting the severity conditions as medium, and by default, you can see the total hit should be greater than specific 0. This is will also work, but in my case, what I'm doing, I'm looking for specific. Field value is greater than, so it you will also get that field, because we are creating new field here. So we'll get this one, and I'm just putting this condition here. It If it is greater than, you can also preview your conditions if it is true or false. I cannot do it due to the permission issue, but when you have proper access, you will able to see if your trigger condition is working. It will give you the true or false result. You have to write the action name. Like for example, I'm sending an email, you have to select the channel. As I said, there are some provided here: Chime, Slack, webhook. I'm just using webhook. You can see by default, here it is. You can also edit this one. You can do a customize monitor, like you want any specific name or table inside the email, or you need some other, you everything can be done here itself. You can do it. It is very customizable. You can write it by your own, and you can also preview it. Like here in this case, I'm able to see the trigger name, the severity, and etc. This is something you'll get on your notification channel, whatever channel you have selected. If it is email, then you will get this this message over the email. If it is any incident management tool like ServiceNow or Remedies, then you will get this as a description in the alert itself. Right? You can also use throttling, like I said earlier, and then you have to create an alert. Talking about the managing channels, so here there is a way we can create our own channels using the customized webhook. Like for example, if I want to create channel for any specific webhook, then you have to write the name. Like for example, I'm just saying service now, and then description you would like to add, or the channel is something I'm using webhook, custom webhook, and then I have to use the method. So post method is something which I'm going to use, and then you put the URL, and then you put the host details and port details, etc. Again, you have to ensure that you are whitelisting all those things, your organizations are doing all those things accordingly. And because this is one time activity, the first time you have to set a channel, and going forward you will get the notifications using this channel. Generally, we prefer using email or event management in any organization, or Slack, or depends on whatever thing you are using. You can create and manage this as well. You can edit this as well. So, talking about the monitors, as I said, you can create the monitor. Let's see what is available in the sample alerts, which are only visible. So once you'll create an alert, it will be look like this. You can see this. So you will see your name, you will see the type, you will see the index, you will see the schedule, and if any updating any versions, then as soon as you'll edit it and save it, you will able to see the multiple monitor versions as well. So the trigger you can see, so this is how it looks like. So if it is triggered, you will able to see. Currently it is showing some error, that's the reason it is white here. So seems like this alert is not working properly or not set. You can also see the error as well: failed evaluating trigger conditions. So this is something is not right in the sample alert. Let's see another alert. Okay, this one. uh, as I said, as soon as you'll save your alert, you'll get it will look like this. And yeah, you can see, so there is no alerts, it will show you green. And as soon as any alert is triggered, it will give you the red, it will show the red line. You will see how it is running in every minute because we have set the condition in minute. And if I edit this one, you can see, again, I don't have any permission to do any editing here, but I can at least view it. So you can view the frequency set is 1 minute, and the index is cluster health, which I can see, can't review it. Trigger condition, let's see what triggers they have put. This condition is it should be not green. Okay, so like you can see, we can customize our trigger conditions. We can customize the notification. So right now there is no notification here actions, because you can see that is zero actions. So there is no actions taken. We can even add the actions. As I said, let's say email, I'll put the specific channel here, maybe anything. I'm just selecting randomly, and you can see, so we can also do that. It will show you. You can preview your message as well. So sample blah blah blah, and then you can even save this one. I cannot do it because again it will give me the error if I do that.